how are we splitting up the workload, right? Is it about us doing 50-50 of each chore?
No, and it's not. If you're not doing it, what you're saying subconsciously is, well, then Trent can do it. Just do it. Just do the dishes the right way. Do them right. Or else someone has to do it, and that someone is always me. Hello, and welcome to That's Not What I Said. This is our weekly podcast where we talk about our marital, family, life struggles. I'm Trent.
I'm Emily.
And thank you for being with us today.
And yes, we do have our Christmas village still up on February 1st. So
because
that's how life's going.
Is crazy. Life is crazy. We've been sick with the flu.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's run through our
January's
family.
been rough.
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
But today's episode is really good because we always talk about this, and it's division of labor, household chores, and division of just managing life. We deal, obviously this is what we all deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so this week I think it started with me because I typically do the dishes.
Yes. Yes.
Generally speaking.
Yes.
I do the dishes. I tidy the kitchen. At the end of the day, I go through and wipe stuff down. I try to tidy the dining room. But
which I appreciate while I'm doing.
I know you do.
Other things?
I know you do. And I know you're doing other things. But not in the moment. Not in the moment. In the moment, I'm like, man, what the hell? I'm always the one doing this. I'm always the one who has to take care of this stuff.
So before we get into dishes, we've actually fired a counselor over the dishes.
Yes.
Because we, and this was probably like 7 years ago now.
Yeah, something like that.
We were in counseling, and I remember I specifically this time around had picked a female counselor because I was like, I want her to be biased towards me, selfishly, right?
Yep.
But my social engineering did not work. Or maybe I don't know, but we're talking about the dishes situation, and Trent is venting to her about the way I do dishes.
Yeah.
And she turns to me after he's done venting, because every relationship has, what's the saying? Every relationship has the person who does the dishes like a Swedish architect.
Yeah.
And another one who does them like a
reckless
maniac.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
I'm the maniac in our relationship. I just throw the dishes in.
And it'll
be half full. I don't care. Just get the dishes in there. The dishwasher is for cleaning the dishes. And this is an area, well, I will admit I'm wasteful in this area. If I have to do, like, rerun the dishes because the dishwasher didn't get them clean enough the second time, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
It's something I just don't, they just need to get clean. I don't care how they get clean. Trent, on the other hand, fits every piece together strategically like a Lego set. So
that way you can get the most dishes in,
you're
optimal cleaning. Because I don't want to have to go back and do dishes again later. Like, what's the point? But
there's always dishes to do.
I know, but why? But you don't always want a dirty kitchen. You don't always want.
You'll have to do them again
I don't
anyways.
like dishes in the sink. I don't like dirty dishes in the sink.
And I totally respect that. I respect that. And I also value a clean house, but in this case with the counselor...
Especially common area. Common area should be clean.
Yes. So back to the situation where we fired our counselor is you just got done explaining how much it bothers you how I load the dishwasher. Yep. And she turned to me, she turned to me and was like, Emily, just let Trent load the dishes however he needs to load the dishes.
Completely not paying attention.
Completely did not even listen to the situation that you had just outlined for her, and was thinking that I was being a hard ass about the dishes and picking on you for not doing the way I liked them done. Yeah. And we were like, wait a minute. You're not even listening to us.
Yeah, and that you're right. And that was it last time we went to her. And when she said that, I mean, I was like, that's when I was like, yeah, she has my back. But at the same time, I was like, wait a second. Come on. You're not even listening to us.
Yeah. And she totally stereotyped us.
Yeah.
Because I think more often than not, it does tend to be the woman who's like, no, do it this specific way.
But also typically women who do household chores.
The majority of the housework.
And that's probably what one of the, I always make jokes with my female colleagues and with a lot of our friends. I'm like, you have the perfect husband because I do household chores, because I clean.
Oh, they say I have the perfect husband?
No, I say I'm the perfect husband. Only because I do household chores. In addition to all the life stuff.
Chores, yes.
But this week I remember, I was doing something and I heard you doing the dishes, and I was like, oh man, awesome, babe's doing the dishes. So grateful. Hey, once in a blue moon she does dishes. So thankful for her. And then you were upstairs with the girls, and then I come down and I'm looking at it and I'm like, you effing did half the dishes. And I was like, gosh, and you'd already started the dishwasher.
The dishwasher was full.
It was not full.
It was full.
And I'm like, so you know what so here's what it feels like.
Wait, also right now we have our dishwasher is like shorting out. And so we're having to go to the breaker and reset
the breaker
on the dishwasher every
time we do it.
Time we're doing dishes.
And it's a new dishwasher also. It's not new, but it's like 5 years old.
It's only 4 years old.
Yeah, whatever
it shouldn't be doing this. But what it was is I was like, oh my gosh, the dishwasher is on. Let me get some dishes in there real quick.
Yeah.
And take advantage of this situation where the dishwasher is working and I don't have to go outside and flip the breaker.
But here's, and I know you do this, but here's why this particular time it pissed me off. Okay. Because in my mind, if you leave a cup, or if the girls leave a cup on the counter, or if, in my mind, if you're not doing it, because I know the girls aren't going to do the dishes unless we make them, until we make them.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it, what you're saying subconsciously is, well, then Trent can do it. And that pisses me off. I'm like, just do it. Just do the dishes the right way. Do them right. Or else someone has to do it, and that someone is always me.
And I'm sorry that you feel that way, because that's not my intent, right?
I know it's not your intent.
I don't waltz around this house going, I'm not going to do the dishes because Trent will do them. That's not what's going on in my head. And so
I know.
I just want to level set, because I appreciate what you do. It is not my intent to just leave it for you to do.
But does it even click that, like, if you don't do it, someone else has to do it?
Absolutely.
And that someone else is me.
I'm a grown adult. That absolutely clicks in my head.
Okay.
Where I think we have the difference is our threshold for dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
And childcare.
And that's
right?
It's not just dishes. Dishes is symptomatic. It's household chores and family labor.
The area, because like we could flip this and say laundry, right?
Yeah.
And be talking about laundry. I feel like I'm always the first to do laundry.
See, and that's where I disagree with you. I'm always one rotating loads and loading loads. And when I see I have cues. If we're running low on towels, all right, well, then I got to do towels.
Yeah.
Oh, the girls are saying, hey, my pants are dirty. Okay, then that means I got to wash pants.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm always rotating laundry.
I'm always rotating laundry too. But that's also, we're both always doing it, which means it's just a constant workload.
Yeah.
And I think with dishes, I have a much higher threshold, and I have a much, it's a lower priority on my list.
Yeah.
And so, and I just, it doesn't bother me to have dishes in the sink the same way that it bothers you.
Yeah.
And so that's where we just have maybe the same threshold when it comes to laundry of like what's accepted, or the same triggers, right? Yeah. And different triggers when it comes to dishes. And also our laundry
is in our rooms typically.
Oh, yeah.
Or in our laundry basket, or in the bathroom.
Yeah. More in the way.
Yeah. But but out of the common area.
Yeah.
We don't have stuff in the common area. I hate a dirty common area. Is our common area dirty half the time? Yeah, it is. But if people pop over, we should be able to tidy it up within 3 to 5 minutes. And we're pretty good about that.
I think we can.
We can. But still, like for me, oh man, just seeing but also like scrub.
I'm not laughing at.
I know you're not. But also like scrubbing out, like scrubbing and wiping down the countertop, scrubbing out and scrubbing and cleaning the kitchen sink.
Yes.
And getting the grime out of it.
Yes.
Like,
Which is funny to me that you think that I don't do that or I don't value that, because I do.
I think you value it, but I don't think you like doing it. So therefore you don't do it.
I do it. When I do the dishes, I do it. But so let's get back to also dishes is something you're good at, right?
Yeah.
You were very good at it.
I'm tidy. I take care of it quick.
You're prompt with it.
Yep.
And
I've noticed it takes you like 20 minutes. I'm like, why the hell is it taking you 20 minutes?
In terms of division of labor in our household overall.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one area, maybe you do it more. And
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say maybe. Yes, you do dishes more often than I do dishes. However, how are we splitting up the workload, right? Is it about us doing 50-50 of each chore?
No, and it's not. And that's part of what and that's ultimately the crux of it. Like, how do we divide up labor?
Right.
Is it equitable? Is it fair?
Right.
And then also like what do we agree upon? Because we have some friends who and family members who they have traditional households. The wife stays at home and the man goes and works and makes a living and is a breadwinner. And even then, the division of labor is not always equal. Or it's not equal, but it's not what I think it should be or our friends think it should be.
But can it ever truly be an equal division of labor? There's always circumstances.
It can't.
Yeah, because like look in January, right?
But,
like I was sick for a week, then you were sick for a week. And so luckily we weren't sick at the same time.
Yeah. Thank God.
But that whole week that you were sick, I was carrying
absolutely were
this household.
And that's
on the flip side, when I was sick,
yeah,
you were carrying everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think when that happens, there's a hierarchy of what gets taken care of first. And at the top is always the humans.
Yeah.
Right?
See, and for me, like, yes, of course it's the humans. Of course we take care of the kids and ourselves and and each other. But for me, it just comes, I mean, those, I feel like those are far and few between. So those are the exceptions, not the rules. Generally,
like when one person is sick.
Exactly. Yeah. Those are exceptions. We rarely get sick. I mean, we have down days and we have down weekends, but generally speaking, and it took me a long time to really, not a long time, but it took a while for this to sink in. Where it's like, man, I'm getting pissed because Emily doesn't do dishes. She's not vacuuming. She wants to do household remodels, but our living room is a wreck this week. So why would I ever agree to doing household remodel for a house looks like shit right now? And I just get in my own head. But then at the same time though, then I also know like, oh damn, like Babe takes care of the kids in the morning. You do the lion's share of getting the girls ready and prepped in the morning. And I think that's also because, not that I don't help, but I think it's also because you don't like my morning routine style.
Well, what I don't like about it is you create a false sense of urgency all the time, and I think that leads to
it's hustle. Like
no, it causes anxiety. And so if you can slow down and like not create this false sense of urgency, everything goes much better. But to that point, like I think I just am better with time management. Like I think, especially in the morning, like I just bam, 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 bam. Like there's no.
I feel like I'm like that though in the morning. Also, it's just you don't like my sense of urgency. I put a sense of urgency, like, hey, let's get everything taken care of.
But when you do that, you create anxiety for our children, and they melt down, right?
No.
Yes. They do.
There's days when you're not around.
Think about it.
Or when you're not, and I'm just on the ball, and I'm taking care of the girls. They don't have you to run to. And they do everything I tell them to do. I think they run to you as a sense.
They don't run to me though.
As a security blanket.
No. I just get shit done.
I see what you're saying, and yes, you do. You do get.
Who planned the girls' birthday parties?
You did. You absolutely did.
Who makes the doctor's appointments and the dentist appointments?
Most of the time, you do. Mm-hmm. I still could tell you all of our kids' doctors. I still take care of that stuff. But point being is, I do recognize how much you do, and it's tough because it's like it's the stuff that impacts the family and the kids. Mm-hmm. So it's the social emotional labor that you do, whereas I'm doing the physical labor. But it gets exhausting because I feel like I do a lot of the social emotional labor as well. And I'm present. I play with the kids when they're bored.
Yeah.
Whenever they want to do activities, I'm the one who takes care. I'm the one who does activities with them. Whenever they are outside of like the mandatory, like I need to do this to care for our children, because I'm also most of the time I cook. So whenever it's like outside the mandatory, we need to care for our children, which you typically do that stuff. Anything that falls outside of that, it usually falls on me. So that's where I think our division labor is good with the kids, because you take care of like I need to sustain your life and your livelihood stuff.
The emotional and
social
like
security,
day-to-day life management.
Stuff. Yeah, their health and livelihood security. I feel like you're very good at that, whereas I take care of like their and this just goes, this is stereotypical, but I'm the parent that the dad and the parent
You're
that
the
is the fun
parent.
one, the fun parent. Yep, exactly. I'm the fun parent.
I'll give you that.
And I'm the one who
I'm the cuddly
gets
parent.
them excited.
You're
I'm the one who
parent.
gets them excited about stuff, and I'm the one who cheerleads them whenever they're interested in something.
I cheerlead them too.
You do. But I'm like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, you're gung ho. But
exactly,
that's who you are in life, right?
Yes, exactly. But so I think the chores, the kitchen is just symptomatic of are our problems normal? I'm trying to figure out how to say this. So like,
is this a problem in our relationship?
Exactly. Is this a problem in a relationship?
Yeah.
And then also like, because I hear from other couples, and I'm not going to share I will share their stories that they share with me, but my perspective of their story. Mm-hmm. And so I hear other couples and other husbands and other partners who are like, well, yeah, I do most of the chores, and my partner does very little, and it pisses me off.
You hear men saying that?
Not necessarily men, no. It's usually like my female friends who are like, oh yeah, I take care of most of the family chores. Mm-hmm. And that's why I always make jokes with them, like, oh yeah, that's why I'm the perfect husband, because I do all this shit. But I do know that like a lot of the men I know do a lot of household chores because they like a clean house, or they like a tidy house.
As they should, right? And that's the thing is, and I think this is, I don't know, like, why a lot of men don't, why your female friends are experiencing this, right? Other than, maybe, how certain families people were raised, or to, fulfill certain roles or whatever. But I think a lot of what you feel like when you're sitting at the sink, being resentful, oftentimes you're doing dishes while I'm giving the kids a bath, right? Yeah. And I think what's tough about like household duties is that it's not 50-50 on everything all the time. Yeah. We contribute equally. I would say we contribute equally towards the management of our household, but we each excel at different things. Yeah. Right? And so of course we're going to do the things that feel easiest to us or more natural to us For you, it's dishes. For me, it's bathing the kids, right?
Yeah.
And I think you have to look at it. I think you have to look at it as the larger scope of the household, right? You can't just go into that micro view of like, oh, the dishes. Mm-hmm. It has to be on the whole.
And it did. It took me a while to see that.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to see it, and I probably only came to that like in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Because I'd get mad.
I know it's been a pain point for us for a long time.
Absolutely has, and that's why I said like, I'm like, hey, why would I spend $40,000 doing a household remodel?
I can't get into this one with you because
if our house looks like shit, why? Or if you're not helping clean up our house, why would I ever spend that?
Real quick. I think this logic about like investing in remodeling our house or investing in like upgrading our house is flawed, because you can't say our kitchen, the pots and pans stick out of the drawer because the drawer's not big enough for modern day pots and pans.
It's a shallow,
right?
Yep.
It's a 1960s kitchen, an early 60s kitchen.
Yeah.
If we had better cabinetry, we could be more organized with our pots and pans, right?
I get that. I get that logic.
I'm just throwing in one comment there because that's a frequent refrain of yours as well, which is like, also we have small kids. Houses will always be messy. We both work full time, right?
Yes.
And this is how I feel. The house is going to be messy.
Yes. Obviously, we still have Christmas shit
when
up,
our
so we're
children,
busy.
Yes. Yeah, it's February and we still have Christmas up, right?
Yeah.
When our children are grown, do you think they'll remember that in January or in February 2025, we had Christmas up? No. They're not going to remember this.
No.
And that's my mom. Like, this is one of the things that like my mom always said to me. And so the way I manage things is a product of how I was raised and things that were said to me and things that were valued in my home. Right.
Yeah.
But will it matter in 5 years? Is anyone going to remember?
No.
In 5 years that this was this, right? No. Right up here.
Exactly.
No. My children, when they're adults, will remember the quality of their relationship with me, right? Yes. That's what I'm focused on as a parent. Do I want my house to be a healthy
I agree with all that.
Environment? Yes. Does having a clean house contribute to a healthy environment?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Are we living in squalor?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, we're not.
No.
And
is our house clean at least once a month? Yes.
No, it's clean up.
Maybe at least once a week, right?
Yeah, because we're good about cleaning up on the weekends. But
when I'm exhausted, and this was something that I also learned through my own counseling, was that I had to learn to let go of certain things and certain images that I had in my head about the way life needed to look, right? But
for me, a clean house feels good.
Of course it feels good.
Yes. I want to come home. It makes me feel good coming home to a clean house.
Yes.
It makes me feel I'm able to relax. I'm able to just be present and unwind.
Absolutely. And I think there's something to be said for, a clean and organized house being good for your mental health.
Yeah.
And your physical health too,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
I don't think our house is at a point where it's
it's
negatively impacting anyone's mental health.
It's not negatively impacting.
It's messy. It's not anything that we can't clean up within an hour of the family working together.
Yeah, today, we all hands on deck. We do our weekend clean. Everything got cleaned. I get that.
And I think, is it hard to come home with like a pile of shoes by the front door and coats, just dropped on the couch?
Yeah.
If you've had a rough day, yeah.
It's just one more thing.
It is, but also to me, like to your point about feeling good about the house, coming home to a clean house. For me, I think my house is part of my self-image.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I real quick will start to feel bad about myself if like the dishwasher isn't working.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm learning. It's a constant, I'm sorry, but
no, good.
constant growth opportunity for me to learn that this is not me. This is just stuff, you know?
I know.
And
I get that. I get that.
So to that end, like, if my children are happy and healthy, like, I want a healthy and clean home.
Yeah.
Yes. But I can only give so much in a day.
And I get that. And I absolutely get that. We all have finite amount of energy.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why you're like, well, go to the gym at the end of the day. I'm like, I can't. I'm tired as shit. Like, I just don't have the mental capacity to go to the gym.
We have a finite amount of energy.
Yes.
And I don't think we should be too hard on ourselves when our house isn't perfect every day. Because...
And again, I don't think it needs to be perfect every day, but there are times where I get exhausted being like cleaning up after the kids, cleaning up after our family, and just following around and just clean up shit. And I just get tired of it. I just get tired of it.
And I think what you're feeling is just a symptom of parenting.
I know it is. But at what point do we say, all right, and I hit that point today where I'm like, hey, all this crap that you guys just left behind, you're cleaning this up. Well, I don't care. Go clean it up.
You're absolutely right. But guess what? They cleaned it up.
They did. They did. And we do. We have responsive kids.
Yeah.
But so I get it.
Yeah. And I think, you know, a lot of our friends, for their own sanity, have hired housekeepers, you know.
Yeah, but they don't have
house cleaners.
Those are once every other week. Or once a month. It
could help,
but
right?
It absolutely could. But again, that still doesn't take away the daily responsibilities you have to do.
Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. But it's an extra level of support.
It is.
Right?
It is.
Because I might have capacity to pick up all the mess, but do I have capacity to mop the floor?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I get it.
And that's where, like, I'm thankful that you contribute in the ways that you do.
Yeah.
Because I think if I had a partner who didn't, and who, you know, I'm working full-time, you're working full-time, and if you didn't contribute equally to the household, like, I'd be mad too, you know?
Yes.
I'd be frustrated. And that's why I feel bad when you get frustrated, when you're feeling like you're carrying the bulk of the burden. Yeah. Because I never intend that. I always feel like I am contributing.
And you are.
Okay.
It just took me a long time and a lot of observation and getting outside of where I'm freaking heated in that moment.
The micro moment.
Yeah, that micro moment of just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Effing shit, stupid.
Smoothie in the sink.
Yeah, leaving a bowl of cereal that's just dried up from the morning. Like, and I have to scrub this out. These kids are never eating cereal again. Who made oatmeal? God damn it. And who didn't clean out the pot?
Yeah.
No one's ever eaten oatmeal again. F these people.
Oh, no one's ever eating oatmeal again.
Effing oatmeal. So I realized that when I was getting angry about the dishes, it was because I wasn't bringing it up. I was just stewing on it. You had no idea that I was getting pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm like, F this, F my kids, F my wife. Yeah. I'm leaving. I'm going to go live a minimalist
Yeah, you were just
apartment.
I'm
just sitting there stewing by myself.
Yeah.
No one else knows, though.
Yeah.
So I'm having a fight with you in my own head.
And were you not saying anything because you thought, like, I should know?
No. Because and this is the thing. Like, I still bring it up to you. This is where I'm strong. Is that if I don't like something, I'm pretty vocal about it.
Yeah. Now.
Well, I feel like I've been that way for a while. But anyways, point being though is the bigger question is because we do know so many couples where it's disproportionate. One partner may not fulfill their side of the obligations or the commitment to do housework or to do what the family life management side, or maybe one partner who does the lion's share of it. At what point do you bring it up? At what point do you bring it up and say, hey, you know what? I'm not here to take care. I'm not your butler. I'm not your maid.
Yeah.
I'm not here to take care of you.
Yeah.
In this way, in this capacity.
Yeah.
At what point do you bring that up? Because I think for a lot of people that I know, they don't bring it up.
Yeah.
Whereas I'll bring it up and I'll say, hey, I don't like this. I don't like this situation. We need to change this.
Yeah.
Or something needs to change. Or help me be reflective and see something that I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
But something needs to change. At what point does a spouse need to do that?
Well,
or partner?
I think that first of all, because I do that too, where I'm like, Trent did this again. He knows I hate this. But you have to like stop and think like, does your partner truly know this, right? Does your partner truly understand that this bothers you or the way that you're feeling, right?
Yeah.
Because I think both of us in our past, like, we have stewed over certain things.
Yeah.
And we had to really learn to, like, almost over communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And also, like, learn how to be receptive to the communication, right?
And I think that's a part, like being receptive.
Yeah.
But not just because, like, I know people like, and we've done this before where I'm like, hey, you hear me, I'll address something with you.
Yeah.
And you say you hear me, but then there's no change of action.
The habit.
There's no change of action. And that's like even worse. That's like, we effing talked about this and you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So
People that means are still eating oatmeal in this
that
house.
means you don't respect me. That means you don't respect what I'm trying to do.
I think, but so here's the other thing too, right? Is like, we all have our habits.
Yeah.
And habits are really difficult to break, especially when life is busy and you're not being mindful about the habit.
Yeah.
Right? And you haven't like redirected or rearranged in a way to help you break the habit.
Yeah.
So I think, first of all, like to the people that you've talked to who are feeling like they carry the bulk of the household burden or the mental or emotional or physical, whatever it is, burden.
Or sometimes all the above.
Yeah.
I know a handful of friends who it truly is all the above.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, I've had relationships in the past like that too. And like really it comes down to like, have you guys ever sat and talked about this, right?
Yeah.
And is your partner receptive to what you're saying about it? And also is how they're feeling the reality of the situation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because maybe they're taking the micro dish view of like, I always do this, but on the macro whole house view, maybe there is more equitable distribution of household labor when you take a different, level view from it.
Yeah.
So, but you have to communicate.
See, and that's where I agree. I always wonder why there's certain partners, and I don't want to, obviously if we start naming names, we're going to start hurting feelings. We're going to start hurting feelings right now because we know. But anyways, I know that there's certain partners who will do a lot of work and then do more work and do more and do more. And I just feel like their partner is just oblivious, or it's just like, oh, well, this person will take care of it. And it angers me from the outside because I'm like, hell no. Why would you even deal with that? Why would you put up with that? It's like, oh, well, it doesn't bother me and it's nice and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, no, hell no. And that's where, and again, I can't speak for them, but it just, for me, it's like, the thought of not bringing it up, the idea of not bringing it up, not addressing a problem, it frustrates me for them. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, hey, it's like, not going to fight their battles, especially with their partners.
Yeah.
And then second of all, it's like, hey, if they're not willing to stand up for themselves and address this and change,
you have to. If you're feeling overburdened, you have to say something, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody is gonna, including your partner, is not gonna stand up and go like, "Oh, this isn't fair for you."
Yeah.
You know, like you have to be your own advocate in life, even in the home. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's a lesson I had to learn. Is that nobody is gonna stop and say like, wait, is that okay for Emily? Is that fair for Emily? Is Emily feeling okay about that?
Yeah.
I love you and I know that you love me, but we are all in our own heads,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I had to really learn like, oh my gosh, if I'm feeling a certain way, I need to express that. And I need to express it in a way, in a calm and like way where you can receive it, right? Because blowing up, waiting till you're at the point where you're boiling over and blowing up.
Yeah.
That is not going to get your message across.
And it's a powder keg moment.
You're going to shut everyone down.
It could go, and at least for me, like, I know there's been times in the past where I'm boiling over. I'm like, I think I'm going to leave this woman. Like, F this chick. You're living at my house.
She leaves oatmeal in the sink.
You're living at my house. I'll take care of everything. I clean up. I pay all the bills. Hell no. F this.
Tell me more.
All right. So we talked this subject to death. Division of labor. It's never equitable.
Well, and I think that's the thing, right? Is that especially if you have children, it's never going to be 50-50 all of the time. It's going to ebb and flow, right?
Yes.
You're going to have a good week. I'm going to have a good week. It just is what it is.
But there has to be.
You have to have the larger viewpoint, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Overall, is everyone contributing?
And that's, yes. And I think that's the point that needs to be hit home.
Yeah.
And where we have been successful is, and luckily.
And communicate when you're feeling overwhelmed by something too.
Yeah.
Right? Because it happens. Even when people are, everyone's pulling their own weight, it's still, life is overwhelming.
Or when the perception of people are pulling their weight.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what, again, this is where I think a lot of people get in trouble, is like, or not trouble, but this is where they just have, they have no idea that they're not pulling their weight.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, I did this one little thing.
They're
I'm
comfy.
pulling my weight. Yeah, they're comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why would you ever change something if you don't have any rubs?
Unless I'd say, hey, do the effing dishes right. All right.
And then I just laugh and I'm like, oh, I love you so much. I'm going to keep doing the dishes my maniac way.
I know you will.
And, but that was another important thing that I think you're continually working on too, is as much as I had to learn to let things go and not let certain things be done the way I like them because they're getting done.
Yeah.
You're still working on that with the dishes too, right?
Yeah, and it's not, like, and again, it's not just dishes,
it's the fact that I'm doing them.
Yeah.
It's not how perfectly I have lined the plates up in the lower drawer where they belong. I don't even know where they go.
Low rack. It's a low rack.
Whatever, the bottom part of the dishwasher. That's the fact that I'm doing it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's, in a household, is it getting done?
Yes. And importantly,
doesn't matter how it gets
and we're
done.
We're still setting good examples to our kids. And,
yeah, the kids are contributing.
And making the kids
Same thing with the kids, right? You can't nitpick how the kids do certain things as long as they're doing it.
Down, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and that's the thing is, you can't nag your wife about the dishes, okay?
All right.
It's not cool.
All right. Love you. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you.
Oh, this is the end. Okay. Well, communicate with your partner.
Yes. Thank you.
Have a great night.
Have a good night. Bye.